Thank you, guys. I had the time wrong, so my mistake. Welcome here. I'm Sid. I'm the data architecture and ML AI platforms lead for 2K Games. I was the one responsible for data quality and governance and enabling that in the company as well. Over the next 10 to 15 minutes, I want to take you guys through some of the stuff that we have done in 2K, both on the data governance side as well as the quality side. We went from 0 to nearly 2,000 active checks in less than a year. And more importantly, how we interacted with our studios and how we thought about data quality along the way is what I want to talk to you guys about. The bigger story is culture. And by the end of this, I hope you guys have a few practical takeaways to take to your own teams and your own orgs along this way. A little bit about the company. The game library. So who are we? Rockstar, Zynga, 2K. We all sit under Take-Two Interactive, and between us, we ship some of the biggest titles in the world. NBA, WWE, Borderlands, a lot of the mobile side of things, Farmville, and Words with Friends. And on the surface, these are multiple different studios that we are supporting. We're talking about billions of records per second in telemetry, and that's where I'll talk to you about in the next slide, like how data quality was never a thing that came from one team or one org. It had to be a company-wide thing, and we wanted to keep data trustworthy across the footprint, and that's what we were trying to solve with this initiative. So why data quality hits different in gaming? Gaming is, I've worked in many different fields, and gaming is something that was very interactive for me, as well as very challenging at the same time. 4 things that make our problem generally different from a typical enterprise. First is the scale. You're talking about billions of events that basically break tooling along the way. So if you're talking about metadata management, if you're talking about data quality checks, we are not talking about smaller volumes. You're talking about on scale, let's talk about NBA. It's 1 million players every second. They call it CCUs in this terminology, and that's what we're dealing with here. Second is the multi-studio reality. Each studio has its own schemas, their own platforms, so there's no single source of truth for most of these. So when we talk about interacting with these studios, studio heads, as well as their own culture and their own teams, we have to walk through a lot of these initiatives, and that's what we're going to talk about with data contracts as we go through this presentation. Thirdly, launch day. When a title goes live, our pipelines are hit with the peak load for the first time ever. So there's never like, hey, let's catch this in the next sprint. It's all the data all at once, essentially. And then we also talk about live ops and live services. We are doing patches. We're doing season updates constantly, and that's reshaping the data. So as it says here, our schemas are never stabilizing. They're always evolving, essentially. A little bit more about the teams. So we have 6 different teams, and there's one ecosystem, essentially. How these teams are assigned or aligned under 2K. Data is basically telemetry, data engineering, MLOps, data science. We have BIDS, which is our reporting side of things, and data governance and quality, essentially. So together, we are delivering 3 things to the BUs. It's mostly reliability, value magnification, and elasticity. This diagram is very simple, but you can see data quality isn't owned by one team. It's in this picture, it's a property every team contributes to now. And telemetry has to send us clean events. Data engineering has to land them faithfully. And then governance decides or defines the rules for this. This distributed ownership is part of the cultural piece that I was talking about, and that's what is most important for our teams. Going to the next slide here. Just feeding of the same thing, how we call quality is a team sport. This slide is kind of important because it honestly is not the easy part, picking up a tool. It's picking up the right tool for data quality, because you have to understand not what your team does, but what every team around you does as well. And that's how we made this every team's or every person's job in each team. It was not a one-person thing or a one-team thing, like, hey, we set up the data quality team, and they're going to take care of everything. We always started with shared ownership. So every data set had a named owner. We had a data management tool, metadata management tool, and we had a name showing up in every alert. And then there were no anonymous queues here. We had data contracts. These are the formal agreements between the producers and the consumer. So everyone from the studio side all the way to our business units, we had a lineage showing up. And that showed us who was being affected and what was changing along the way as well. And then the third important thing that we're still kind of in the works right now is the DQ scorecards. And this was based per studio. Because what is getting measured is what is getting fixed, essentially. So that was really important for us from the start to show that. A little bit about what our teams have done to enable this. So we have a managed layer, which is not very different from what we've had in the reality of things when we've had raw, managed, like medallion architecture. So we have the raw and the managed layers, and then we have the business dashboards on top of that. And data quality kind of is part of this platform. We organize the data products in these two layers, the raw and the managed. We have the raw telemetry data, and then we have somewhat of a silver/gold layers with the managed. And then we have the business dashboards that kind of feed on top of this. Data quality sits upstream. I'll walk you through it briefly through each of these slides, but DQ is not bolted at the end. It's part of the whole work stream until the end, essentially. A little bit about the managed layers, as the diagram is kind of descriptive enough, but it's our aggregated curated layer. It's sitting up on top of our raw telemetry, and then we offer a managed service. So this could be notebooks, self-serve data marts, batches, near real-time feeds, and more importantly, it's the guaranteed freshness and accuracy that's built into each of these. Our BI team builds on top of this layer, so they have somewhat of a product analytics mindset when they're building for MLOps or ML development versus when they're building out for a business unit and supporting them in their initiatives. We also share this data for marketing, for segmentation, and the key point that I'm trying to make is that quality is being guaranteed in every offering that we are doing here. And this is a core feature of our platform today. I'll breeze through these business dashboards, but basically they are all on top of our managed layer, essentially, today. And we're talking about near real-time KPIs. We're talking about automatic spreadsheets. We're talking about custom dashboards on request, of course. We have daily summaries that go out every minute to every hour, depending on how important that game launch is and what kind of offers we're sending out every 30 seconds or so. And that's where we kind of see this both going on a live dashboard and an email as well every hour. What I would want to talk about here is that there are quality checks along the way to enable this, and the promise we make and SLAs that we have with our business units are kind of tied into these examples. Quick look what this looks like. It's daily summaries, the dashboards that you're seeing on the right. And then I'll move past these, but the point is, like, these artifacts are all talking about trustworthiness that we've built with our BUs and our studios along the way. Coming to data quality and monitoring, this is the heart of our talk. I want to come back to the quote that we mentioned before, but really we want to frame here the biggest unlock for us was how data quality is not each team's job, but across the board, it's the whole org's job. And how do we make that happen with everyone on that team? With that mindset is what we are building out this initiative. We went from reactive to proactive. We had a game launch. We would have failures along the way. And that's what I want to talk to you guys about. And 12 months ago, we had 0 automated quality checks in production. We had built or bolted together something small along the way, but there was a lot of false positives or false negatives, if you want to think about it that way. Issues surfaced from analysts notified something weird in a dashboard, or worse, when an executive asked us about a number in a meeting. Our MTTRs were measured in days, not hours. And then launch day, we had war rooms, and they were standard. Essentially, like, everyone knew that we had a launch and we would be in war rooms. Today, across the board, we have 2,000 active checks. We have about 1,000 data sets. And we didn't hit like 100% accuracy, but we hit a 95% DQ SLA along the way. Slack alerts in minutes, schema breaks are caught in the CI/CD in GitHub before merges, and of course the scorecard that we talked about along the way that we're building out. So it's the same team, the same studios, we just have a different operating model now. This is tactically what we are running, essentially. A data quality dashboard, Slack alerts, integrated checks on freshness, accuracy, and normalcy. And this is all wired into the 3 primary use cases that we have. We're talking about launch quality. We are the first in line of defense when a title ships. When you're talking about CI/CD integration, so the checks are running in pipelines along the code merges, and this is happening in the YAML files on Databricks, as well as Snowflake. We have both environments for whatever use case, but we support both because we have different studios wanting different use cases for different games. And so we're supporting both of these warehouses today. And then, of course, we have the self-serve monitoring, so analysts can basically go ahead and set up their own checks on custom data sets without coming to us and like, hey, how do we do this? Underneath all of this, we have a 95% data quality SLA that we've promised and committed to our business as well. A little bit about Soda. I'm pretty sure you guys already heard about it from everyone around here. But the shift that I want to highlight is, here's the title. We went from detection to prevention. And most data quality tooling will tell you something broke after it broke. Our goal is to catch it before that reaches the data dashboards, the data sets along the way in the first place. And Soda did that for us. Observability was on the managed layer, continued monitored freshness and volumes. We're talking about 5 to 15 minutes checks on streaming dashboards and stuff, as well as we're talking about lineage to assess data health in real time. What they support, I don't want to say like it's a magic pill for everything. What we support, or what Soda supports today, is across the board for both Snowflake and Databricks. And then we run checks on freshness, volume schemas, row counts, and this integrates with Slack and email for alerts. It also runs in the CI/CD for early detection. What it's not designed to do is look at broken Tableau dashboards and stuff, and we have looked at alternate solutions for us, or maybe just switching out Tableau altogether, essentially, at this point of the day. But like a revenue DOP or an implicit logic that's been built into our dashboards, that's not what we are using it for. Real examples, we've done row count checks on daily summaries. We've done ingestion lags on transactions that we have, if you have hourly or 15-minute checks. And then all our morning dashboards have some kind of delivery built into them as well. That kind of brings me to the end. That's all from me. Happy to take any questions. And we are in booth C63, right across the board, if you guys want to dig into anything further.